What's up, my loves? I am waiting on a client, one of our fellow creatives, as a matter of fact. So we'll just give her a little moment. And meanwhile, I apologize for being absent this weekend. Usually, my weekends is my time to catch up with you all and do some projects, but you know how life happens. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this design because I have the photos that we're going to pull in. And it's a bit of a complicated design. It's going to have a lot of photos, but I'm going to work with it. So for this one, we're not going to do wings. So I'm going to right click and turn off the wings, the front and the back wings. And let's see, this is going to be a front and back design. So bear with me. There's quite a few photos here. I'm going to pick through which ones we're supposed to be bringing in. All right, so let's see if I can see these numbers. That's how we're going to remember to bring them in. A little split screen action so I can see both sides. 8847 is going to be center. $88.53, and we'll rearrange these once we get this set up. $88.53, $88.92, $92. I forgot to hit enter when I drop that one in. $88.92. Let's see. $88.86. And $88.89. These are all going to be on the front. All right. Let's see how we can pull this together. Now, this one's just a composition, so we should be able to just play with the layers and the placement of this. And for this case, I'm going to take the but not and forgotten. I think that's my bottom text. So if I want to grab both of them, I'm going to right click on but not, and then I'm going to hold down shift, right click on forgotten, and now I have both of them selected without having to look at my layers over there. And I don't know if these are the words that we're going to use on here, but we'll keep them here for just right now, and then we can always edit the text later. Alright, so I'm thinking we were going to put the main photo above the word gone. Let me go ahead and expand this out a little bit. There we go. And also while I'm laying out these photos, I like to kind of think about the family and loved ones, and I just want to offer my deepest and most sincere condolences, because I know that that even just looking at this right now is probably very difficult, and I pray that what I'm doing is giving some sort of relief and peace for you as we pull this together. So I definitely want you to be a part of it and help me out, Elizabeth. If you see something that looks better somewhere, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely take heed. Now, what I'm going to do, while I know what photos I have here, I'm going to go ahead and do my fade off so I know how much I have to cover. Because if you do it before that, you may not know how you need to do your placement. So let's grab our paintbrush. We did a layer mask. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the size of this brush a little bit. Still have a soft brush, and this is still rather large. I'll bring it down a little bit for the other images. And maybe even for the purposes of this layout, I don't know if the particular order matters where people are. And for this one, I think I'm going to bring her closer to him. So I'm just going to go to my image. I'm going to cut, Control X, which is really not going to affect this because it's not rasterized. So let me rasterize the image. Then that way it's not a smart object anymore. So when I do Control X, it will cut. Control V will paste. And then I can kind of make them, because this image was scanned together, so I don't know if it meant that they were supposed to be like next to one another. So I'm going to assume that's the case. And then we'll make a change. We'll make the changes accordingly if we need to. Make them about the same size there. And this is honestly one of the hardest parts. Even when you have a template, this is one of the hardest parts, is arrangement. So don't beat yourself up about this. Take your time, play with it, really understand your own style, because we all have different styles. So something I may do may sit a little different with you, and you might want to do it another way. So what I say is not law, it's just pretty much proven theory. Alright. So let's do the same thing here. Let's add a layer mask and fade off the edges here. And we are keeping the doves but no wings, so I'm going to find a way for the doves to kind of accent the words. And in this way, I'm also kind of seaming together the image where it may have a couple of flaws, like the feet are cut off in this image, so rather than trying to do anything to distract it, we just use our images. Alright, and I have this purple background on right now because I want to see what's hanging off the page, what may need to be altered. I'm going to fade off this edge of the arm right here. So let's add a layer mask, grab our paintbrush, and just fade that off a little bit. Same thing with the bottom of the image there. And same thing with this image. I see the heart image on the t-shirt. I can kind of make it look like it just fades off. Okay, and let's see. Oh, Elizabeth, hey love. Hey. Vivo, what's up? I gotta put this thing on live chat. I don't know why it just switches back and does what it wants. Okay, so yeah, I was just pulling in images while I was waiting to see the chats. There might be a little bit of a delay there. So Elizabeth, so far, is this layout looking pleasing to you? Or do we need to change anything up? And then also, Elizabeth, if you can let me know if these words are what you want or if you wanted any different text. If you emailed it to me, I apologize. I'm going to go check it right now, make sure. I know I have a name to put in here. So let's work on that. And let me know if the colors are good or if we need to do a different color other than gold here. The gold is pretty classic. Very few people actually change it. That's a thing that I've noticed. Now all I did was just copy that layer, duplicated that layer, and then I am changing the size of it. Control T. Let's see. How we want to place that on there. And sometimes the effects that you have look a little, a little bit weird when you do it on smaller text. So you can always play with the effects as well. I'm going to bring in these dates a little bit. And you can let me know whether you want to do sunrise and sunset or if you want to just put the dates. If you want me to spell out the month and, matter of fact, let me take this off for just a second. Let's get in my way. What I'm trying to type down here. So I'm just going to select that text, paste over it. We'll zoom in, Control plus. September 12th, 1943. Make sure I got that right. And then May 13th, 2020. So you let me know which one you like better, the wording, well, the dates spelled out, or the dates as numbers. And I'm just going to kind of preview it here for you so you'll see. And we'll kind of just nestle this up in there. And then I'll do an alternate version. We'll put the number and dates. So one way I have it with the dates slashed, and the other way I have them spelled out. Just getting the idea of which one you like better, and then I'll make sure it fits with the design. And in the meantime, I'm going to go into the name, and I'm going to reduce this effect just a little bit because it's a little too heavy for the smaller text. So what I'm going to do is reduce the size of my stroke here. Go down to 5, and my drop shadow, just bring that in just a little bit so we see the name a little more clearly. And it still has that same kind of effect and matching. Spelled out is better? Great. Okay. And we can do a little bit to the date to make it stand out. It's going to be off of the cloud background. So let me go ahead and turn this off so you can see what I'm saying. Let's do a white background. And this is pretty much how it would look, of course, sublimation on the shirt. So it's going to look faded off and you won't see those hard edges. Forgot I did a copy layer style for another image earlier, so let me do this. I'm going to choose one of the darker colors in the gold. Just because that black was standing out a little too much for me. Alright, that should work out. So it's just a little bit of a stroke and a little bit of an outline. And then our doves, we want to make sure that they are not going to get cut off. Let's bring that one in a little bit. I think everything fades in here pretty good. We don't have anything hanging out. Okay, Elizabeth, let me know if I need to make any changes, but if not, I can go ahead and save this one as the front and we can start pulling in the images for the back design. Either way, let me Control S or save, and I'll turn my helper back on. I'll turn this down just a little bit because I think that's what was in the way. All right. Yay. Okay, so she likes this one. And now what do you want the back to show? I know we're going to do several photos for the back as well, Elizabeth. Let me know if we're doing the same words or if we're going to take the words off for the back, or she wants to have a different message on the back. And meanwhile, what I'm going to do is go ahead and combine all of this. I'm going to group it, and I'm going to call this one front. And then I will duplicate it, and then I'll call this one the back. And that way we can take our current photos out. Then we can start pulling in our new photos. Let's do 8868. 8868, we'll bring that one in. So this one will be the middle pick, and then we'll do 8850. Eighty-eight 8856. Oh, this one is adorable. 8856. Next one is 8862. What else do we have here? 8871. 8871. That's a beautiful photo too. 71, 8874. Right. 8877. Am I missing one perhaps? See, 8877. And it might be my fault. Maybe I didn't down. Oh, there it is, 77 right there. Isn't she just gorgeous? That beautiful hair. Okay, 77, 88, 80. I'm bringing out the cuties now. 88, 80, 88, 83. 88, 98. I'm loving this yellow. All right, and we'll rearrange these later. We'll make sure that nobody's hidden. And that one was 98. We have 8901. Too cute. All right, 8904. It's a handsome young man. And 8907. I think that would be the last one. Let me know if I'm wrong, Elizabeth. 8907. All right, so now let's go ahead and gotcha. Okay, so is there any particular order? Like, do you want the younger kids like towards the bottom, and then the children at the top, or children, grandchildren, that sort of thing, or do you just want them kind of all collaged in random order? Well, I guess random order is an order. And what we'll do, I'll give her some of my most popular expressions that people ask me about and see if she wants to put any of those words on the back. But it's up to her. She can do the back just totally photos if she wants to. Um, but you can also say long live Richard Lee Dixon, because that's what's happening with the future generations. They're living, in his honor. So let me know if you want to do something like that. Um, some of the other expressions I get a lot, and I'm trying to think what the poems are. Until we meet again is a popular expression, and that would be, something that would be fitting for the collage as well. So let me know. Right now I'm just going to turn the text off so that we can get a good idea of how many photos we're going to collage right now and make that kind of the focal point. So at this moment I'm going to turn off my middle. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of turning them off, I'm going to bring these images above the clouds. And that way we have a good idea of how much space we have to work with. And then once we get our layout like we want it, we'll start fading off some of the images. So since I know I have a lot of photos, I know I'm gonna end up making some of these smaller. And let's take our doves and hide those for a moment too. And then pretty much anything that we have, if we're gonna set something to the front, we just drag the image to the front. And then if I know I'm missing anything or I need to blend it, we'll blend it once we figure out what's gonna be next to what. That's the center photo. Beauty will bring her down here. And I'm literally right now just playing with the orientation of everything. Matter of fact, some of your kids do this on the phone better than I do on Photoshop. All these apps that allow you to do your own design and collaging and all of that stuff. All right. Got a little ones. More little ones. I think I'm going to put him down here with the little ones. And then we'll have the image up front with the little ones up top. And then I think this is the image that's going in the center, I believe. I want to keep that one central. Starting to come together. There we go. And then I think someone right here is cut off, if I'm not mistaken. And I would flip it, but I can't flip it because, well, no, that jersey is an 80. So if I flip it, it's going to say 08. So I have to be aware of flipping images. So we'll place this one in the back, behind everything. And it looks like I can fill this in with a couple of images here. Let's go here. And I get a little bit of repeating with this one and this one. So I'm trying to kind of avoid that. Alright, so let's go ahead and start blending out our photos so we can see how they look layered. And I'm going to go one photo at a time, add a layer mask, grab my paintbrush, and just start softening up these edges. That one is really cracking me up. She looks so happy. Alright, so let's keep it going. And the goal here is not to be perfect, it's to give yourself an idea of how much white space you have to work with and what things might look good layered together. And believe it or not, I did this exact same type of design for my dad for his funeral programs and his canvas that we did for the funeral. And it was a lot of work, but it was very therapeutic, and it was really hard trying to get everybody, in the images. So I understand when we have a lot of photos to work with, because I was that exact same way. I wanted to make sure that nobody felt left out, everybody was represented, and I still didn't get a chance to do that because it was just so many people, but that's a blessing to have that many people to love and to love on you, where you have to decide who makes the cut and how many photos of each person, and one person's looking crazy in this photo and looking good in the other photo and vice versa. That's the fun stuff. And I like this photo right here. It makes him look like he's glowing, so I think we're going to keep that placement there. Go ahead and add a layer mask to that photo. Fade that off. And I was putting that one there to cover up the arm that's cut off there. And this one here. We can add a layer mask, and we can kind of fade off the bottom of the skirt there. So we see the faces here. And then whenever I have something really erupt on the end there, where I don't want to fade it off too much because it'll fade off too much of the face, what we'll do is just reduce the size of the brush. And that way we add a layer mask and we fade off. It's not as harsh. Well, it's not as vast of a fade off. And I think this one goes all the way up to here. Start fading that off. And same thing on this image, we'll fade that off a little bit so it blends well. And I think remove BG kind of messed us up right here, so let's clean this up a little bit. We'll use our pen tool here and let's clean that up a little bit. You probably had trouble finding the background. If the background is too close, like to the skin tone color, it won't pick it out really well. And I'm trying to kind of discern myself. And we'll see if that makes it look just a little bit better. Go ahead and make that a selection. And we'll just feather one pixel. And make sure we're on the yellow photo. And instead of deleting the pixels, I'll just paint them away. On the mask, let's deselect. That looks better. All right. Let's do a little arranging here. This photo right here is really making me smile. All right, let's clean up that edge just a little bit so it fades off. And this one, the reason why I'm flipping it is because I see dark here and her hair is dark. So because it's cutting off some of the image, or the photo cut off some of her hair, I'm just gonna juxtapose it against the black in the dress there, or the top there. All right, let's back up a little bit and see how our collage is coming along. Long live. Okay, great, great, great. So we'll have a little space for that. And I'm just trying to see how I can fill this out. I might take this image, put it here, this image, just to switch it up a little bit. Now it looks like we can fill something right here. Okay. This is visually how we're looking on the collage so far. And since this is our main image, I kind of don't like that the top of the hair is cut off on the photo, so we're going to do a little something about that. And this is our main photo here. Let's bring some of the color back, so I'm going to paint with white now instead of black. There we go. I'm going to blend that in a little bit. I think that looks fine. Looks better than the top being cut off. Especially for one of the main images. And let me just make sure. Bring it down just a little bit. Oh, I'm not on my move tool. That would help. Here we go. Here we go. This one. Right there. Put the kitties next to Pop. And let's bring this one down a little bit. Okay, and Elizabeth, let me know what you're thinking about the collage so far. The only thing that's really throwing me off is this top right here. And what I'm thinking is, let's take an image that has a top and let's switch these out. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead, let's fade off this side over here a little bit. Ooh, I need to soften up this brush a little bit more, bring it up the size. That way I get a good fade off. There we go. Alright, and Elizabeth, while I'm working on the words, let me know if there's anything else I need to switch around on the photos, or if you see anything that looks like it needs to be moved a little bit. This one. Alright, and let's add our text back. Let's see, this is all the photos. The words should be right underneath it. And now that we've got the collage together, we can bring the photos on top. Let's do long live. And let's arch this text. Let's see what that looks like. Then I want to make sure this isn't covering up anybody's face or anything. And let's see if we like the script better or the straight text. Or we can do it like this, long live Richard Lee Dixon, like that. And then we can take the words off the bottom. And we don't need the dates again, unless you want to put them on there. Yeah, there we go. And then we say we're going to bring the doves back into the design. All right, Elizabeth, you let me know what you're thinking about this so far. If we need to change anything. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the front and the back. Let's Control 0 so we can zoom out to the contents. That's the back, and that's the front. All right, so this one we're going to make a little bit smaller. Got you. And the dove, say, yep, we sure can. You want me to move this one also? Oh, don't move the other one. Sorry, there's a delay in this thing, so leave that one up top. And then if you want this one on the shoulder, I can kind of blend off this foot so you don't see the foot on the shoulder. I'll have to make it a little bit smaller. Well, I took the feet off because I felt like the feet looked weird. Because if he was flying, his feet, or if he was resting on near his shoulder, you know, you wouldn't see his feet like that. So I just kind of blended the feet out to make it not look. So it looks a little bit more like he's in front, but not like he's like pecking at his neck. Now this is totally up to you. I want you to do what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel light and life from this design. So don't let me tell you something that's weird. I'll give you ideas when something is, you know, maybe obvious or stands out a little too much. But that's why I took his feet off, because I did think that looked a little weird. And if you want to do another dove, we can always do that. Control T and flip it. Flip horizontal, and then we can have one going each way. And you just let me know. I can turn it off and turn it on so you can let me know how you feel about it. Off and on. If you say so, Elizabeth, we'll take them off. So we could take the one off the shoulder. Do you want me to put it back up at the top, or would you rather have these kind of balancing like that? Now, what I'll probably do for the, okay, perfect. What I'll probably do for the photos here now is make sure everything is faded off good. We don't have any hard lines or anything. And that looks good. I don't see anything that stands out. And now that I have this little one in the back, let me grab her picture. I'm gonna get the white paintbrush and I'm gonna paint, uh-oh. I'm going to paint on the layer mask, paint with the white, so that it'll bring part of that image back, and then we'll just shift it a little bit. So that part of her arm that was cut off is hidden. Alright, other than that, everything looks like it flows to me. Like I said, we'll check front and back again, make sure everything looks cohesive. Let's turn off the back and turn on the front. And back to the back. And Elizabeth, I'm going to, I don't know if you already have this template, but I'm going to give you this Photoshop file. So if you need to play with it or you want to learn what I did, you can break down the layers and see what we did today, because I know you're very much interested in learning Photoshop. So that'll be my gift to you tonight, give you something to play with and wrap your brain around for this project, because it means something to you. I tell people all the time, you can watch me design and play with templates all day, but when you're actually invested in it and it's someone you care about, it sticks to you a little different, and you will learn based on what you're breaking down and how it means something to you. And then just in case, like maybe somebody was forgotten or turning their picture late and you need to add somebody in there, you'll be able to do that. Caleb, is there anything else that you want to see on this design, or any other words that you might want to do? Are we locked in with the front and back design? That's good. And offer her, like, seriously, my most sincere condolences. I know this is a hard time, but I'm glad that we're able to make this happen today, okay? And if there's anything that you need or she needs, let me know. And for this type of thing, I do push myself to the limit, of course. So I want to let you know I appreciate you too. And we'll go ahead and get this thing saved. And I'll save it as a PNG for you front and back as well as the Photoshop file. So in order to do that, let me go ahead and take off this background. She's absolutely welcome. All right, love. Well, I'm going to go ahead and send this file out to you tonight. That way you have enough time to do what you need to do with it. And if you need help tomorrow, it's kind of a busy day, but I will definitely look out for you if you need anything, okay? All right, and to my other creatives, thank you for watching and being a great help like you always are. I appreciate you too, and I love you dearly. And I think we're gonna call it a night tonight. I have a couple more projects to work on, but I don't know if I can do them live. Y'all hear me faintly talking now. So I'm gonna try to survive the night, but it will be a template that I'm developing tonight that hopefully I can put out there tomorrow for you guys. All right, you're welcome. All right, loves. Good night. Love you. Bye.